Okay, from the Didache, Teachings of the Apostles, this is part 8 from the Epistles of Barnabus, the red heifer, a type of Mashiach. Now, what do you suppose this to be a type of? That a command was given to Israel that men of the greatest wickedness should offer a heifer and slay and burn it, and that then boys should take the ashes and put these into vessels, and bind round a stick purple wool along with hyssop, and that thus the boys should sprinkle the people one by one, in order that they might be purified from their sins. Consider how he speaks to you with simplicity, calf in Yushua, the sinful men offering it are those who led him to the slaughter. But now the men are no longer guilty, are no longer regarded as sinners, and the boys that sprinkle are those that have proclaimed to us the remission of sins and purification of heart. To these he gave authority to preach the gospel, being 12 in number, corresponding to the 12 tribes of Israel. But why are there 3 boys that sprinkle? To correspond to Avraham, Isaac, and Yaakov, because these were great with Elohim. And why was the wool placed upon the wood? Because by wood Yushua holds his kingdom, so that through the stake those believing on him shall live forever. But why was hyssop joined with the wool? Because in his kingdom the days will be evil and polluted, in which we shall be saved. And because he who suffers in body is cured through the cleansing efficacy of hyssop. And on this account the things which stand thus are clear to us and obscure to them, because they did not hear the voice of Yushua. Part 9. The spiritual meaning of circumcision. He speaks moreover concerning our ears, how he hath circumcised both them and our heart. Yahuwah saith in the prophet, in the hearing of the ear they obeyed me. And again he saith, by hearing those shall hear who are afar off. They shall know what I have done, and be ye circumcised in your hearts, saith Yahuwah. And again he says, hear, O Israel, for these things saith Yahuwah thy Elohim. And once more the Ru'ach of Yahuwah proclaims, who is he that wishes to live forever? By hearing let him hear the voice of my servant. And again he saith, hear, O heaven, and give ear, O earth, for Elohim has spoken. These are in proof. And again he saith, hear the word of Yahuwah, ye rulers of this people. And again he saith, hear, ye children, the voice of one crying in the wilderness. Therefore he hath circumcised our ears, that we might hear his word and believe. For the circumcision in which they trusted is abolished. For he declared that circumcision was not of the flesh, but they transgressed, because an evil angel deluded them. He saith to them, these things saith Yahuwah your Elohim, here I find a new commandment. Sow not among thorns, but circumcise yourselves to Yahuwah. And why speaks he thus? Circumcise the stubbornness of your heart, and harden not your neck. And again, behold, saith Yahuwah, all the nations are uncircumcised in the flesh, but this people are uncircumcised in heart. But thou wilt say, yea, verily the people are circumcised for a seal. But so also is every Syrian and Arab, and all the priests of idols. Are these then also within the bond of his covenant? Yea, the Egyptians also practice circumcision. Learn them, my children, concerning all things richly, that Abraham, the first who enjoined circumcision, looking forward in spirit to Yushua, practiced that right, having received the mysteries of the 3 letters. For the scripture saith, and Abraham circumcised 10 and 8 and 300 men of his household. What then was the knowledge given to him in this? Learn the 18 first, and then the 300. The 10 and the 8 are thus denoted, 10 by Y and 8 by H. You have the initials of the name Yushua. And because the cross was to express the grace of our redemption by the letter, he says also, by the letter, the says also. 300, he signifies therefore Yushua by 2 letters, and the cross by 1. He knows this, who has put within us the engrafted gift of his doctrine. No one has been admitted by me to a more excellent piece of knowledge than this, but I know that ye are worthy. Part 10. Sip of drink. Spiritual significance to the precepts of Moses respecting different kinds of food. Now, wherefore did Moses say, Thou shalt not eat the swine, nor the eagle, nor the hawk, nor the raven, nor any fish which is not possessed of scales? He embraced 3 doctrines in his mind in doing so. Moreover, Yahweh saith to them in Deuteronomy, And I will establish my ordinances among this people. Is there then not a command of Elohim, they should not eat these things? There is, but Moses spoke with a spiritual reference. For this reason he named the swine as much as to say, Thou shalt not join thyself to men who resemble swine. For when they live in pleasure, they forget their Yahweh. But when they come to want, they acknowledge Yahweh. And in like manner the swine, when it has eaten, does not recognize its master, but when hungry it cries out, and on receiving food is quiet again. Neither shalt thou eat, says he, the eagle, nor the hawk, nor the kite, nor the raven. Thou shalt not join thyself, he means, to such men as know not how to produce food for themselves by labour and sweat, but seize on that of others in their iniquity, and although wearing an aspect of simplicity, are on the watch to plunder others. So these birds, while they sit idle, inquire how they may devour the flesh of others, proving themselves pests to all by their wickedness. And thou shalt not eat, he says, the lamprey or the polypus or the cuttlefish. He means, thou shalt not join thyself or be like to such men as are ungodly to the end and are condemned to death. In like manner as those fishes above accursed float in the deep, not swimming on the surface like the rest, but make their abode in the mud which lies at the bottom. Moreover, thou shalt not, he says, eat the hare. Wherefore? Thou shalt not be a corrupter of boys, nor like unto such, because the hare multiplies year by year the places of its conception. For as many years as it lives, so many it has. Moreover, thou shalt not eat the hyena. He means thou shalt not be an adulterer, nor a corrupter, nor be like of them to them that are such. Wherefore? Because that animal annually changes its sex, and is at one time male, and at another female. Moreover, it has rightly detested the weasel. Moreover, he has rightly detested the weasel, for he means, thou shalt not be like to those whom we hear of as committing wickedness with the mouth, on account of their uncleanness, nor shalt thou be joined to those impure women who commit iniquity with the mouth. For this animal conceives by the mouth. Moses then issued 3 doctrines concerning meats with a spiritual significance, but they received them according to fleshy desire, as if he had merely spoken of literal meats. David, however, comprehends the knowledge of the 3 doctrines, and speaks in like manner. Blessed is the man who hath not walked in the counsel of the unrighteous, even as the fishes referred to go in darkness to the depths of the sea, and hath not stood in the way of sinners, even as those who profess to fear Yahuwah, but go astray like swine, and hath not sat in the seat of scorners, even as those birds that lie in wait for prey. Take a full and firm grasp of this spiritual knowledge. But Moses says still further, ye shall eat every animal that is cloven-footed and ruminant. What does he mean? Ruminant, cud chewers. For us that's meditating really. Anyway, ruminant, what does he mean? The ruminant animal denotes him, who on receiving food recognizes him that nourishes him, and being satisfied by him is visibly made glad. Well spake Moses, having respect to the commandment. That what then does he mean that we ought to join ourselves to those that fear, that Yaray YHWH, those who meditate in their heart on the commandment which they have received, those who both utter the judgments of Yahuwah and observe them, those who know that meditation is a work of gladness, and who ruminate, that's chew and ponder, meditate upon the word of Yahuwah. But what means the cloven-footed? That the righteous man also walks in this world, yet looks forward to the holy state to come. Behold how well Moses legislated. But how was it possible for them to understand or comprehend these things? We then rightly understood his commandments, explained them as Yahuwah intended. For this purpose he circumcised our ears and our hearts, that we might understand these things. Wow. Take a drink. Yaray YHWH. Part 11. Baptism and the stake. Prefigured in the Old Testament. Let us further inquire whether Yahuwah took any care to foreshadow the water of baptism and the cross concerning the water. Indeed, it is written, in reference to the Israelites, that they should not receive that baptism which leads to the remission of sins, but should procure another for themselves. The prophet therefore declares, be astonished, O heaven, and let the earth tremble at this, because this people hath committed 2 great evils. They have forsaken me, a living fountain, and have hewn out for themselves broken cisterns. Is my Qodesh hill Zion a desolate rock? For ye shall be as the fledglings of a bird, which fly away when the nest is removed, And again saith the prophet, I will go before thee and make level the mountains, and will break the brazen gates, and bruise in pieces the iron bars, and I will give thee the secrets hidden, invisible treasures, that they may know that I am Yahweh Elohim, and he shall dwell in a lofty cave of the strong rock. Furthermore, what saith he in reference to the yuchid? His water is sure. Ye shall see the King in his glory, and your soul shall meditate on Yaray YHWH. And again he saith in another prophet, the man who does these things shall be like a tree planted by the courses of water, which shall yield its fruits in due season, and his leaf shall not fade, and all that he doeth shall prosper. Not so are the ungodly, not so, but even as chaff, which the wind sweeps away from the face of the earth. Therefore the unrighteous shall not stand in judgment, nor sinners in counsel of the just. For Yahweh knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the unrighteous shall perish. Mark how he has described at once both the water and the cross, the stake. For these words imply, blessed are they who, placing their trust in the cross, the stake, have gone down into the water. For, says he, they shall receive their reward in due time. Then he declares, I will recompense them. By now, he saith, their leaves shall not fade. This meaneth that every word which proceedeth out of your mouth in faith and love shall tend to bring conversation and hope to many. Again, another prophet saith, and the land of Jacob shall be extolled above every land. This meaneth the vessel of his Ru'ach, which he shall glorify. Further, what says he? And there was a river flowing on the right, and from it arose beautiful trees, and whosoever eat of them shall live forever. This meaneth that we indeed descend into the water, full of sins and defilement, but come up bearing fruit in our heart, having the fear bearing the fruit in our heart, Yaray YHWH, and trusting in our Ru'ach, and trusting in Yushua and in our Ru'ach, and whosoever shall eat of these shall live forever. This meaneth whosoever, he declares, shall hear thee speaking and believe, shall live forever. You'd think if this word was so easily put to people so many years ago, that our churches may just consider telling us about it, you know. These are amazing words. They don't disagree with anything that I'm learning through scripture. Anyway, looking hard. Part 12. The cross of Mashiach frequently announced in the Old Testament. In like manner he points to the cross, the stake of Mashiach, in another prophet who saith, and when shall these things be accomplished? And Yahweh saith, when a tree shall be bent down and again arise, and when blood shall flow out of wood. Here again you have an intimation concerning the stake, the cross, the stake. Don't know which one to say. And him who should be crucified. Yet again he speaks of this in Moses, when Israel was attacked by strangers, and that he might remind them, when assailed, that it was on account of their sins they were delivered to death. The Ru'ach speaks to the heart of Moses, that he should make a figure of the stake and of him about to suffer thereon. For unless they put their trust in him, they shall be overcome forever. Moses therefore placed one weapon above another in the midst of the hill, and standing upon it, so as to be higher than all the people, he stretched forth his hands, and thus again Israel acquired the mastery. But when again he let down his hands, they were again destroyed. For what reason? That they might know that they could not be saved unless they put their trust in him. And in another prophet he declares, all day long I have stretched forth my hands to an unbelieving people, and one that gainsays my righteous way. And again Moses makes a type of Yushua, signifying that it was necessary for him to suffer, and also that he would be the author of life to others, whom they believed to have destroyed on the stake when Israel was failing. For since transgression was committed by Eve through means of the serpent, Hashatan, brought it to pass that every kind of serpent bit them, and they died, that he might conceive them. Oh wow. That on account of their transgression they were given over to the straits of death. Moreover, Moses, when he commanded, ye shall not have any graven or molten image for your Elohim, did so that he might reveal a type of Yushua. Moses then makes a brazen serpent and places it upon a pole, and by proclamation assembles the pole. When therefore they were come together, they besought Moses that he would offer sacrifice in their behalf and pray for their recovery. And Moses spake unto them, saying, when any of you is bitten, let him come to the serpent placed on the pole, and let him hope and believe that even though dead, it is able to give him life, and immediately he shall be restored. Wow. See how clear that is? Continuing. And they did so. Thou hast in this also an indication of the glory of Yushua, for in him and to him are all things. What again says Moses to Joshua, the son of Navi, when he gave him this name, or is it Nave, I'm not sure, when he gave him this name as being a prophet, and this view only, that all the people might hear that the Father would reveal all things concerning his yuchid, Yushua, to the son of Nave or Navi. This name then being given him, when he sent him to spy out the land, he said, take a book into thy hands and write what Yahweh declares, that the yuchid of Elohim will in the last days cut off from the roots of all the house of Amalek. Behold again Yushua, who has manifested both by type and in the flesh, is not the Son of Man, but the yuchid of Elohim. Since therefore they were to say that Mashiach was the son of David, fearing and understanding the error of the wicked, he saith, Yahweh said unto Yushua, sit at my right hand, until I make thine enemies thy footstool. And again thus saith Isaiah, Yahweh said to Mashiach Yushua, whose right hand I have holden, that the nations should yield obedience before him, and I will break in pieces the strength of kings. Behold, how David calleth him Yushua, and the yuchid of Yahweh. Wow. Part 13. Mashiach and not Jews, the heirs of the covenant. But let us see if this people is the heir of the former, and if the covenant belongs to us or to them. Hear ye now what the scripture saith concerning the people. Isaac prayed for Rebekah, his wife, because she was barren, and she conceived. Furthermore also Rebekah sent forth to inquire of Yahweh, and Yahweh said to her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 peoples in thy belly, and the one people shall surpass the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. You ought to understand who was Isaac, who Rebekah, and concerning what persons he declared that this people should be greater than that. And in another prophecy, Jacob speaks more clearly to his son Joseph, saying, Behold, Yahweh hath not deprived me of any presents. Bring thy sons to me, and I may bless them. And he brought Manasseh and Ephraim, desiring that Manasseh should be blessed, because he was the elder. With this view, Joseph led him to the right hand of his father Yaakov, and Yaakov saw in his spirit the type of people to arise afterwards. And what says the scripture? And Jacob changed the direction of his bands, and laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim, the second and younger, and blessed him. And Joseph said to Yaakov, Transfer thy right hand to the head of Manasseh, for he is my firstborn son. And Yaakov said, I know it, my son, I know it. But the elder shall serve the younger, yet he also shall be blessed. Ye see on whom he laid his hands, that this people should be first, and heir of the covenant. If then, still further, the same thing was imitated through Abraham, we reach the perfection of our knowledge. What then, says he to Abraham, because thou hast believed, it is imputed to thee for righteousness. Behold, I have made thee the father of those nations who believe in Yahweh, while in a state of uncircumcision. Amen. So let's finish there, and I'll pick up with number 14 next time. Thank you for joining us. Any questions, please take it all to Abba. You can leave a comment for me if you wish, and let me know whether what you think of this book. It's interesting. Dearest Abba YHWH, thank you, dear Father, for bringing us here together to listen to these words once again. One more reading and we will have finished Shaf's version of the interpretation of these instructions. Thank you. Thank you for everything you bring to us, Father. And thank you for bringing us together to learn all the things you bring us together for, Father. Through Yushua I pray in Yahweh. Yahweh our Qodesh Elohim. Yaray YHWH. Amen. Onward and upward. Mishpacha and Havarim. Going home soon. Just in the waiting room. Thank you for listening. Tudi at shalom and much ahav to you all. Yaray YHWH.